Namaste, my dear friends. And here comes the next question. And I get it quite often as from the Russian or the international audience. Vadim, is Amanita Muscaria an antidepressant? Can I use it to switch from my chemical antidepressants to Amanita? Will it work? So the answer is yes. Amanita, you can call it like a natural antidepressant, as one of its components is Muscimol. Muscimol has an impact on the GABA receptors. What does it mean? The GABA receptors connect our middle part of the brain with our reptilian brain. The reptilian brain is that place and area from where usually come all the animal instincts and also all of those, let's say, negative codes which were implemented inside of us by our culture, mass media, and blah, blah, blah. So when we're using Muscimol, it has an impact on the GABA receptors and they become, let's say, more quiet, or the impact of the reptilian brain becomes more quiet and becomes quiet in about 20 to 25 times, which means that if a person has depression, anxiety, and other things which are bombing him from his reptilian brain, uh, it starts to lower down. Through that, the person starts to hear him and herself much more better, much more clearer. The second voice, which is always kind of putting us down, starts to become quiet, and our soul actually starts to become a lot more louder. And through this inner peace that we're receiving inside, we start to recover. So there was made an experiment by my good friend and his colleagues in Russian hospital in such a city called Ufa. This experiment was done, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. So there was a testing group of 150 people in which they were tested how Amanita muscaria can help for people who have depression, anxiety, and other type of psychological problems, which are usually are taking not hard medication. Uh, so when the results were that we wanted to see the placebo effect and the Amanita effect. So 50% of the people were getting pills, which had inside of it just normal mushrooms with carrots. They were colored like Amanita, but the other ones were the real Amanita muscaria pills. So in 2 weeks, there were already quite astonishing results that we could see that the effect that the Amanita muscaria microdose was giving was similar with the effect of Xanax. In other words, people were becoming more quieter as from such a strong chemical antidepressant and sedative pill as Xanax, when at the same time they didn't have any side effects. In other words, they were waking up quite energetic, they were quite happy, and there was a good and beautiful boost of energy. Uh, when compared to the chemicals, there were always leftovers, or in other words, people always had some kind of a side effects. It was hard for them to wake up in the morning, and they were feeling very down. So just know when you're consuming just antidepressants and you don't have energy to acknowledge why I'm depressed, it won't heal you. The only way how you can heal yourself is by understanding your core conflict between your soul and your mind. Your inner conflict solution, that is the fastest way how you can get rid of any antidepressants and solve any type of depression, anxiety, and other type of problems. So, the result was that, first of all, it worked so effectively like a chemical pill without any side effects. And secondly, the most beautiful thing was discovered that the doctors and the psychiatrists that were taking Amanita, at the same time, they created a very strong rapport, which means connection between the patient and the healing doctor. So they were understanding each other in a very deep and beautiful way. They could feel each other, they could understand each other from half a word. And this, of course, helps to increase the effectiveness of the work of the doctor, which is super cool. As I told you, a lot more important is not to consume things which just, let's say, seduce or lower down the tension, but actually to work with the issue and the problem. And for any specialists, they know how important it is to create a reliable, deep connection with the person that they're working with. So Amanita helps to form this connection on a lot more deeper way. Because when you're just using, for example, chemical pills, then people don't have energy, and the doctor sometimes finds it hard to connect with that person because the person doesn't have the energy in his consciousness or feelings, emotions, mind don't have enough energy to connect, to express, to feel, and through that, the time of the specialist is actually being wasted because the patient doesn't have the energy to take in that what the specialist is offering. So, of that reason, I can tell you, yes, Amanita muscaria is a great switch for antidepressants or opioids, and it's a very natural, safe way that you can use in a microdosing way to heal yourself from the things which are suppressed inside. How much amanita should you take when you're are on antidepressants? This amount you should calculate out by the way that you feel. You know how you feel when you take the antidepressant. So take the powder and try to take so much that you would come to the same level of feeling, which means typically when people have such situations, I recommend to start from not 0.35, but from half a gram, and then to try 1 gram if you have a lot of things suppressed inside and you need more support. So, and then eventually you'll see that Amanita will build up, the Muscimol will build up on the GABA receptors, that anxiety and pressure which comes from the reptilian brain will lower down, and you will start to hear more clearly yourself. Then focus on solving your issues, focus on solving those things which created this stress and tension on the first hand. And after that, you can slowly let go of Amanita, and I have some stories or many stories of people letting go of different type of antidepressants. One time I had a man who was consuming 4 antidepressants for 10 years and eventually drinking alcohol. And it took 4 months of active work to fully transform this. And it's important that when you're making such transformation, do the work. Because if you're not doing the work, if you think that amanita is something that you can eat on a daily basis and it will work, no. Eventually, your problems, your inner conflicts, your spiritual path is far more important for the life and the creation rather than your illusion of peace inside. So, no, work upon yourself. Always know that you are the solution. Amanita is just a tool to help you to understand yourself and to sort out your problems by yourself. If you don't sort out your problems by yourself or with the help of specialists, nothing will change and you will come to the same level of depression later on because the suppressed codes, the suppressed feelings, the suppressed emotions, they cannot be transformed without you allowing this transformation to happen. And this can go on multiple levels. One is the mental level that you understand and you allow yourself for those things to come out. And second is the physical one, the work with the physical body and finding those places where you have pain. So for that pain and those codes would also come out. In my work, I always combine multiple layers. I combine the aspect of the consciousness and the understanding, the request, the analysis of what is rising up, and the physical work and body. Because our body, it's a biochemistry laboratory which can produce you anything. So if you have on a daily basis at least 20, 30 minutes of physical activity, your biochemistry of the body will work much, 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 much better than the people who don't use their physical bodies. And of course, let go of all the chemistry. Stop consuming chemistry, which for your body is hard to digest, and don't make it rough. Try to make it smooth. Just know that being healthy means you're healthy without consuming any type of substances, even organic ones, even from the nature. Eventually, the true health, it lies in the perfection of ourselves. So, well, remember, you have came here perfect. You were born perfect, and you have that perfection inside. Activate it, turn it on, assist your body to heal, to recover, so you would become that perfect being by the way how you came here. So I hope you understood the main thought and the wisdoms, and all people who are searching for the answers. Can they use Amanita in exchange of antidepressants and opioids? I hope you got the answer. When you're gonna do your work, listen to yourself, observe, make conclusions, and always do work with your consciousness on a mental level, physical level, transform your emotions, and for sure, through this, even your spiritual connection will increase and your clarity of life and yourself will become clear and simple. So, much love, darlings, and see you soon. Namaste.